Continental Army gets destroyed. And they got to keep retreating back further and further and further and further. As they retreat, the redcoats are taking their supplies from them. And eventually Washington's got to go all the way across the Hudson River into the lo and behold state of New Jersey. So now Mr. William Howe's like, got you back, George. You kicked me out of Boston, I just kicked you out of New York. You got to go hang out in New Jersey. During the New York campaign, a young officer from Connecticut by the name of Nathan Hale was going to kind of become a folk hero. Nathan Hale found his way behind enemy lines and secured some very top secret British information. But then he got captured. And he had actually taken these documents and hidden them into the soles of his shoes. He was ordered to be executed. Okay? Right before his execution, he said, I regret that I have but one life to lose for my country. But
how did he die?
That hanged.
Executed.
No. Yeah, it was like the electric chair.
Oh, so I would say.
Yeah, because there's electricity back then. In Arizona, maybe, but then. So, Nathan Hale, basically says, you know what, I died more than once trying to save this country. I regret that I have one life to lose. I'm not tearing that off. You might lose your whisker. One. Now, the Continental Army is in trouble. In November of 1776, they are in big trouble. Oh, I think they got it. The Continental Army right now is in trouble. George Washington's got about 6,000 troops left. They're tired. They're sick and tired. They're sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Sick and tired of me.
And it's November. And like I mentioned before, they signed a one-year contract usually when you join the Continental Army. And that contract will end in December 31st. So right now, get these typed in. George, I just put them up there like 3 seconds ago. There's no way you got it typed in. No. The problem is, George Washington right now realizes he is on the verge of losing his entire army. And if guys leave the army, who the heck is he going to get to sign up for the army? So he's in trouble. Now, the British got a little overconfident, and General Howe goes, yeah, this thing's going to be over soon. Don't need to worry as much about things. We're going to kind of put this in the hands of the JV team. We're going to give control of the area of Trenton, New Jersey to some mercenaries. Now, this is a little bit different definition for mercenaries than I gave you earlier, but basically it's the same thing. They're guys that got paid to fight for another country. And in this case, there was a group called the Hessians. They were from the German state of Hesse. And General Howe said, all right, Hessians, we're going to leave. You guys, stay here in Trenton, New Jersey. Hold the place down. Don't let the colonists come in and take it over. And then they left. Well, Washington knows he's got to do something, or he's going to lose all of his guys. So on December 7th, George Washington had actually retreated. December 7th, which was yesterday. George Washington had taken his troops across the Delaware River now into Pennsylvania. Okay? Hey, you don't need to make little things. Nothing did yet. He's gone from New York to Pennsylvania. Now he's in New Jersey. Now he's in Pennsylvania. Washington had received about 2,000 new troops, fresh guys. Okay, they were good to go. George Washington pulled out a pamphlet. Who's that guy that writes pamphlets like Common Sense?
Oh,
John Jefferson.
Thomas Paine.
Thomas Paine.
I got it.
Thomas Paine wrote that other pamphlet we talked about called Common Sense. Thomas Paine will also write a pamphlet called The Crisis. And George Washington used this pamphlet as like motivation for his guys. And in that pamphlet it says, these are the times to try men's soul. Okay? The winter soldier and the sunshine patriot, blah, 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 blah. Basically, he goes, you know what? Times are tough right now. You're going to be tested. How are you going to react? These are the times that will try your soul. Things are going bad right now. What are you going to do? And it was kind of a big rallying cry for him. Well, he needs a victory. He needs a win. So again, kind of like Arnold and Montgomery did, they attacked on New Year's Eve. Washington is going to attack on Christmas night of 1776 during a winter storm. He takes about 1,200 troops, they get in their boats, and he stands up in the front like this and looks all powerful and stately and proud, just like all the pictures show, as they head across the icy Delaware River. Looks good in a painting. He actually sat in the back, covered up in blankets, and said, "Get me across the river, it's cold." And he wasn't a slave because they made it cold. So, they row across Delaware River under the cover of darkness on Christmas night. The Hessians are in Trenton. They had a Christmas party. They were still sleeping the next morning because they stayed up too late. Got a little too much eggnog. When they woke up, the Patriots had come through the snow. They didn't have a lot of stuff. Some of Washington's guys didn't even have shoes. And all of a sudden they're like, "Merry Christmas." And they took about 900 Hessian soldiers as prisoners of war and won what was called the Battle of Trenton. I'm guessing the British were too happy with the Hessians. The British general, Mr. Cornwallis, takes his guys and he rushes them down to a place called Princeton, because that's where Washington was headed. So it's January 2nd, 1777 in the evening, and Washington and his guys are camped outside of Princeton. The British know they're there. They can see their campfires burning in the nighttime. They got their binoculars. They're like, "Yep, there they are. They're making s'mores, roasting hot dogs, telling stories around the fire. We got them." But then Washington actually played a trick on them. He said, "All right, leave your fire burning." Well, they're going to leave their campfires burning all night long. The British were like, "Yep, they're still there. Yep, the fires are going." The decoy. They left the fire going, and during the middle of the night, Washington took his guys, snuck around on the back side of the British. No, don't say that. So what? Oh, this is someone else.
It's no, he's not. It's a bomb.
And when they woke up, Washington attacked. Cornwallis was like, "Holy cow, you guys are supposed to be down there at your campfires. They need kumbaya. But you're behind us right now, chasing us out of Princeton." So basically, the Patriots have won two pretty big battles right now. They won at the Battle of Trenton. Now they won at the Battle of Princeton. And guess what? You've got new soldiers joining. You've got people re-enlisting. And for the most part, you could say these two wins saved the Army and it saved the Revolution. Okay? The morale of the Patriot soldiers has changed. What is morale? Not moral, morale. Huh? Take that. the morale of these troops improved. What is morale? M-O-R-A-L-E. Data. What does dictionary.com say?
It says.
Is it like-
But it says concern with the principles of right and wrong.
That's moral. There's no E on the end, is there? Need an E on the end.
It says.
No, I got.
Oh,
Is it-
confidence.
No, I
Angie?
got it.
Isn't it like how you think?
Kind of.
Confidence.
Your confidence level. How good do you feel about
She looked it
yourself?
up, so get ready for it.
Okay? Now, the morale of the Patriots wasn't good. They were losing battles. Now all of a sudden they're winning battles. Now their morale's getting, oh, we can be. You know, I compared it earlier today to the Vikings. You know, Viking fan morale right now is pretty good because they're winning compared to the last 50 years. Okay, earlier I said 97. The Vikings haven't had very many successful seasons. Now they're winning. People are happy, jumping on the bandwagon. Then they lose a game and you guys all throw down the toilet. Then they're gonna choke. It's like, whatever. But after these 2 wins, Patriots are like, yeah, come on. Well, on the flip side, the British are like, oh my God, we just lost to the Patriots twice. I was like, people, oh my God, we just lost to the Vikings. Really? There's a British general by the name of John Burgoyne. Okay, a video I got calls him Johnny Burgoyne. I love it. His plan now is to go through New York, and he wants to cut New England off from everybody else. Says if we cut New England off from the rest of the colonies, we're going to be all right. So here's the plan. He's going to bring his army in from Canada. They're going to retake Fort Ticonderoga. Okay? Once they do that, they're going to go down to Albany, New York. Great. Well, while that's going on, General Howe is going to be in New York City. He's going to get on the Hudson River, sail up the Hudson River, meet Burgoyne, and they're going to cut New England out from everybody else. Perfect. Not so perfect execution. Burgoyne, yes, he takes over Fort Ticonderoga. He starts going towards Albany. Here's where it all went bad. Mr. Howe decided to do his own thing, left New York, and instead of sailing up the Hudson, he sailed up the Chesapeake Bay and he took over Philadelphia while the delegates of the Continental Congress were there. Burgoyne gets bogged down into the nasty stuff. Hey, man, you awake? Okay? The Patriots did a little sabotage. What's that? You know?
You purposely do something.
Yeah. To slow the other guy down, right? Here's what the Patriots did. They're going to cut trees down, pile them up in the road so the British can't get by without stopping and physically manually moving these things. Oh, we're going to dam up a river to flood this area so the British can't get through. And then when they stop, they try to do something. The Patriots come out of the forest and attack them. Pretty good plan, right? It's like, we know they're coming by here, let's just put a bunch of trees in the road. You know, stop, pick them up. While they're doing that, we'll shoot them. Like shooting fish in a barrel, right, Katrina?
Pretty good plan.
You ever shot fish in a barrel?
No.
It's easy as it looks. As John Burgoyne gets to a place called Saratoga, New York, he finds out he is surrounded by Patriot troops. And on December 17th, 1777, Johnny Burgoyne surrendered his entire army. Patriot general by the name of Horatio Gates.
Bill Gates?
They won the Battle of Saratoga. This is their 3rd win in a row. Hey, in bowling, that's called the turkey if you get 3 strikes. This was the biggest win for these guys yet. Morale through the roof. This is called the Battle of Saratoga. is called the turning point of the war. What does that mean? Data?
It turned, like the whole war pretty much turned around.
What do you mean turned around?
It like changed,
What do you mean it changed?
because we were winning.
Who is? We. Oh, the Patriots are winning now, right? Up until this point of the war, the British were winning. But now all of a sudden things start changing after this. Part of the reason is that second bullet point. This was the victory that convinced people like France and Spain to help the colony. We go back to the French and Indian War. After the French and Indian War, France and Spain lost a lot of valuable land to the British. They didn't like that one bit. So now they're watching CNN and all of a sudden they're like, oh, look at that, Patriots won 3 in a row. They just turkeyed them. They beat them at Trenton, they beat them at Princeton, and they whooped them at Saratoga. You know what? Them Patriots just might win. And guess what? British are going to lose. Like, how many of you here are Vikings fans? Okay? If the Vikings would lose, and the Patriots, who else do you want to lose always? The Packers, right? You don't care who wins, just so the Packers lose, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of what this was. France and Spain were like, we just want the British to lose, man. We're going to help the Patriots. Well, that's what they do. Help will come from France and Spain, and even Holland, which at one time was an ally of Great Britain. So who comes to help? Well, let's look at France first. There's a gentleman from France by the name of Marquis de Lafayette. Right, Eamon? Wake up, buddy. Marquis de Lafayette. He was a Frenchman. Mr. Lafayette decided, you know what? I'm going to buy my own ship, and I'm going to sail to America. I'm going to bring some troops with me that are super skilled. They're like level 5 guys on COD. I'm going to bring over some troops to help the Americans. And I will volunteer to serve in the Continental Army and don't even have to pay me a cent. Perfect. But wait 1 minute. Dude didn't speak very much English. Had never, ever been in a battle before. No wonder he volunteered. But the thing about Lafayette was he knew how to command. He knew how to lead. He became a very good commander and actually got the title of Major General. He took 2,000 Patriots and chased after about 6,000 British soldiers in Virginia and beat them. And then, just for funsies, he decided to give the United States, or the colonists, 200,000 of his own dollars to help the revolution. You know, Venmoed him right on the spot. 200,000 was a lot of money back then. Yep, a lot of money today. And then he decided to set up a GoFundMe page. Facebook fundraiser. GoFundMe. Actually, all right. Actually, he wrote letters. He wrote letters to his friends. He wrote letters to his family members who had money. And he said, hey, dude, I'm helping these Patriot guys win a war. Give me some money. I'll help out. So they did. He was like their own little fundraiser guy. And he got him money. You know, thank you, Marquis de Lafayette. Well, then we have this dude from the country called Prussia. Not Russia, Prussia.
Russia.
Is it later changed to Russia?
The wish
No.
version of Russia.
His name is Baron Friedrich von Steuben. He was a military guy. He was good. He had a lot of respect. People had respect for him. People were afraid of him. And most of that reason was he was a little wackadoo. A little off his rocker. Okay? The best thing about Mr. von Steuben is he shows up and he started training our troops. Now, George Washington, bless him, he was our first president, all that stuff.
Maybe, say like weird cuss words and stuff on him.
Who? Von Steuben? Yeah, he was crazy. He sweared at him. He said bad words like seventh grader. Washington wasn't the best, like, military person. Stop. Von Steuben taught them basic military drills and practice things. And then he took a handful of people and said, all right, I'm going to teach you guys how to do this stuff. And you're going to go teach everybody else. So when they got into a battle, when they got into a situation where something was said or an order was given, they all went, well, yeah, we try to do that. We taught that. The things von Steuben taught got put down into a manual, like a book, that our military is based on today. Like the training that you go through at basic training is basically based on what that guy did back in the Revolutionary War. Right? He came into camp and said, why in the world is the garbage dump in the bathroom next to the place where you eat your meals? That spreads disease. That causes people to get sick and die. Move it. Guess what? They moved it, people stayed healthier. Okay? He was a pretty cool dude, but he was a little wacky dude. So then you got Ben Franklin. Ben Franklin, remember, was a patriot. He was, what are you guys doing? Honestly. Ben Franklin was sent over to France as like an ambassador. And Ben Franklin's job was to go to France and talk to King Louis XVI, King of France, and get help for the war. You know, Ben Franklin was really, hey, Louis, give us some money. King Louis like, not sure yet. So they waited. And finally, after the Battle of Saratoga, King Louis XVI said, you know what, Ben? You got a deal. You guys just won some pretty impressive battles. I'll help you out. So in May of 1778, Continental Congress actually made a treaty with France. And in that treaty, the French are going to help by sending over supplies. They will give us some ammunition. They're going to send soldiers. And probably most importantly, they're going to send over part of their navy. Colonists really don't have a navy. British have the best navy in the world. If it would have not been for the French Navy, the war probably would not have turned out the way it did. So help from foreign countries was huge. We haven't even talked about the help from Spain. They didn't help as much probably as these two guys, but they helped. Okay? How'd you know this guy swore at people?
I read a book.
Oh, you did? I have a video of him on too. Yeah, he's well out there.
Because I don't have spare gum.
I gave him one.
Yeah, I gave those to them. They're right there. It makes good. Keep kicking my
What's on your computer?
It says stop Graham.
Because you
Spell it to me.
that was autocorrect.
Grahm.
You kicked my chair.
Good, thank you, Graham, for not speaking.
He's like five into the baby. She
What?
What?
But you can chop one.
You can choke her, and then there's like
He goes notes type. But it's from Benji.
Okay, we're gonna stop right there.
And you was thinking.
Hey, does everyone have practice for,
Evan, come here, come here.
No, does everyone have to go for track one? I can't decide on that.
Live streaming.
I never even thought of going some people want to go to practice. Well, there wasn't practice. Yes,
I didn't even like it. I didn't like it.
Today she told us.
Kenji,
She said that there wasn't no practice yesterday.
Hey, turn that off.
I have some
Kenji.
very important divorce against.
From the third grade play. And I forgot to break up with Gavin, so we're gonna do that during tomorrow. Oh, and this is their will. Yo, I get 90% of their will. I get 4 hotels with Parker guys.
Are you a lawyer now?
No, I'm their. I get 90%. And Bria and Eamon will be my guardians.
Can you please swear me into someone's will?
Can I sign it?
But I probably shouldn't be signing as the lawyer, but I am.
Kenji,
Yeah, wait till afterward.
Kenji.
Alright.
I mean, come here if you don't snitch.
Did you see what I wrote on there?
I wasn't. He's in my list.
He's starting to lie.
No, freaking
Uh,
Are you live streaming on YouTube?
Yo!